Folks, I don't even know how to intro today's ridiculous project. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary, a series where I try to make my own video games. So if game dev videos are your thing, consider subscribing to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. So before we even get started, just by looking at this image, assuming, nothing has spoiled it by now, I want you to think of where we could be going with this one. Now yes, you'd be right in thinking that this is a top-down action game. In fact, I'll let you know that it's a setup similar to Vampire Survivors. Indeed, this is a game that is straight up a duel between one crystal and an army of balloons. Now, we're going with balloons because I wanted to continue messing with vector scaling. Now, we recently covered vector art in gamemaker in another project, and we're continuing to test them with the balloons in this project. And not only does the balloon use a vector image, but the balloon shadow is also a vector image. So the shadow will be able to scale with the balloons as they grow, and still be able to maintain their quality. Okay, I think I've stalled long enough that you've hopefully got a prediction figured out. Now, this project was inspired by that old carnival game where you shoot water into a clown's mouth and try to fill a balloon. Only in our version, it's a magical crystal with a laser beam. This is where that scaling comes into play, as the player must match their color with the color of a balloon in order to inflate it. Otherwise, they will simply power the balloon up. And that's a bad thing, because if a balloon gets too close to the crystal, it will self-destruct. And that blast radius is based on the power level. The higher the power, the further the blast. And so I think the gameplay loop is pretty obvious here. Shoot laser beams from the crystal's eyes at the balloons and pop them with the right color. Otherwise, our poor crystal hero is toast. I mean, just look at those googly eyes. Those are the eyes of a crystal that doesn't want to be toast, and in fact, just wants to live to see another day. Like literally, through their googly eyes. And when compared to the insanity behind the googly eyes of each and every balloon, it all but seems obvious. They must be destroyed. What's much less obvious is, did you know that if you enjoy the content, supporting me on Patreon is the best way to help me keep making it? Yeah, doing so can get you access to exclusive content and downloads, and even early access to the weekly Dev Diary videos before they're released on YouTube. Okay, so actually, I have a confession to make. I have been deceitful about these eyes. The reality is the player can actually move around freely, and indeed this means that they can avoid explosions a whole lot easier than it may have seemed. And in fact, the player will want to move a lot because those explosion radiuses are no joke. But here's the thing, the googly eyes, they are googly, and so moving means those eyes roll, meaning that every step the player takes rotates these eyes in random directions, meaning the laser beam directions are completely random as long as the player is moving, which is almost all the time. And thus, I present to you the most ridiculously dumb idea for a game that I've had in a long while. Pure madness that is absolutely not meant to be taken seriously, just one of those ideas that just kept growing and eventually mutated into this abomination. And if the intensely vibrant visuals did not completely give it away, this entire experience was meant to just be absurdly turned up a notch. Like an exercise in ridiculousness from top to bottom, and is in no way fair or balanced, but it was still a lot of fun to put together. So if you had guessed some form of a carnival game with googly-eyed random lasers, congratulations. For everyone else, let me know what you thought it would be, and you know what, heck? What would you add to make this even more ridiculous? Or dare I say, playable? Whatever's on your mind, be sure to share it in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. But with that said, brings us to the end of today's ridiculous Dev Diary. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.